Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Remember 2 weeks ago? How long has it been? 2 weeks? When I said we were going to have 3 high-quality episodes for the relaunch, and they were going to come out last week. Well, we still got 3 of them, but this third one, in typical Smoking Simian fashion, we had some technical difficulties, which were none of my fault. Nothing that that's what leaves us with audio only today. I seem to have forgotten in my allergy-ridden haze to charge my batteries for the camera. So that's why today we're rocking with audio only. Still wanted to get the 3 episodes out to you. We got lots of fun stuff to talk about, but I will say, and I want to ask you a question, Billy. Does your mom is she always ready to tell you about like the catastrophes that are happening, or just something that she's thinking about may affect you, and she's like, oh, well, let me tell you this.
I'm more often to tell her what the catastrophes are.
Right. Well, I bring that up because of the allergies, and you were telling me the allergies were fucked up.
They've been kicking my ass.
Yeah, real bad. I was super sick yesterday.
Especially because I work in a dusty warehouse, so it's not helping it at all.
Yeah, that definitely adds to it. So maybe the explanation my mom gave me doesn't apply as much to you, because my mom messaged me on Instagram this morning, which is her new thing. My mom's going to be 60 next week, and she's just getting into emojis and Instagram.
My mom's about the same. It should be 60 next year.
Yeah. And I don't know, she out of the blue, she just started doing this. And it's really weird when your mom sends you, like, the 100 emoji or, like, heart eyes or something, and she doesn't understand, like, what that implies, I guess. I don't know. I guess it doesn't imply anything. But apparently there's oh, wow, okay, New Brunswick. No, I think it was it New Brunswick? I forgot what my mom said.
I thought that's what you said. Yeah.
There's wildfires in Nova Scotia, I think.
Oh, Nova Scotia. That's New Brunswick.
Is it New Brunswick?
Yeah,
I guess
that's the province of New Brunswick, I think.
Yes. So I guess the air quality's bad, and it's fucking us all up because there's fires going on over there. See this article. What's this about? Just dust, and so they just have a problem anyway, and they're bringing it over here. Interesting. I mean, I can imagine who's calling me. Imagine it's my mom. Hey, Mom. I can see those flames from here. That's why my allergies are acting up. No, they are awful, though. Allergies are some of the worst fucking things. They say you're supposed to grow out of them every 7 years, but that doesn't really happen to me.
Yeah, this article I brought is nothing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, this is a good day to not have video.
Well, it came up, and it was like, I thought there was some truth to it. Maybe let's add Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia, but look up wildfires.
Okay.
There's got to be, what is this, Brave? You don't use Google?
No, I don't.
What does Brave do?
Brave doesn't track your internet search history, and you can also install like VPNs and stuff like that. And then
nice.
It also has like widgets for crypto wallets and stuff.
The new age search engine against the man. I love it. Pollen count and allergy. See, so my mom is just spewing some nonsense she saw on Facebook like she normally does. Jesus, Mom, scared me.
Although I didn't add wildfires.
Wildfires, okay, let's see. It's a mix. I got a voicemail from that number. Wildfire near Halifax, Nova Scotia leads to... So it sounds like it's... Whatever the wildfires are doing, it's much worse there than what it's doing to affect us.
Nothing about allergies so far.
Nothing.
I just see... It's definitely some serious wildfires, that's for sure.
16,000 people have to leave? Wildfires in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, evacuation. 16,000 Canadians.
Wow, well, at least they don't have allergies like we have.
Which I think is all of the Canadians.
Especially over there. Nova Scotia. That's not like Toronto or Montreal.
No, that's east of there.
Right, right. My uncle lives in British Columbia, which I think are due for some wildfires as well. I mean, you want to keep all those trees. We're phenomenal here in America because we have massive cities and we get rid of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And the wildfires aren't as bad until you get out in the Midwest, and then it's not good. But yeah, I don't know if I should be outraged about the wildfires causing allergies here in New York. It seems like they've got some bigger problems. Nonetheless, allergies been kicking both of our asses. I saw something on Instagram the other day that was really interesting to me. And most of you people know how we like to overuse the word journey these days. Everybody's on some kind of a journey, right? I mean, I suppose. I saw this video of Dan Pena. Do you know who Dan Pena is?
I do not.
You might have seen on Instagram by accident one of his reels. He's that old dude who always wears the really clean suits with the white hair, and he's screaming at a bunch of young kids. This is how you make money. And there's 1,000 of those guys on Instagram.
There's a lot of them.
But this dude was like one of the OG ones, I suppose. And he's a real like big time bullshitter. But some of the stuff he says, he's like, he goes, life's a journey if you're retarded. He said something like that. Life's a journey if you're retarded.
Oh yeah, I've seen this guy.
This guy,
He's
right?
a fucking tool.
He's an animal. And he talks about how, the Trump kids, he's like, it's a process for them. It's not a journey. It's the same process his dad went through and whatever. And he makes sense. But we like to use the word journey now a lot more often. Weight loss journey. That's interesting. You need to add that or else you can't make a good Instagram post. If you can't drag people along on whatever it is that you're doing, then there's no point in doing it, I suppose. So the one that I saw, this is a new one, and I guess it's happened. I think I've seen a couple more since. It was titled My Mom's Euthanasia Journey. This was a real thing. My buddy sent this to me. Euthanasia, like the mom got a disease, like a life-threatening disease. I don't remember what it was, and she elected to just die for the doctors to kill her. Euthanasia obviously been a big topic of contention, I guess. I feel like you should be able to kill yourself.
Yeah,
anytime.
Didn't Tina Turner just do that too?
Did she?
Yeah, that was. I think that's partly a rumor, but I think that's why she was in Sweden or something when she died, because it's legal there.
Wow. Well, I know she doesn't. I know she wasn't living in America for a long time. I don't know why, but she.
I don't know how to spell it, so I'm trying to Google it. But
yeah, it'll come up. But
Euthanaist.
I feel like you should. Let's see. It doesn't say. It says nothing about her death. She died from natural causes. Died in Switzerland in her house. I guess no euthanasia.
Guess I'm spreading rumors.
Yeah, misinformation. For all the listeners.
We're gonna get banned.
Tina Turner's lawyer is like, she did not. We didn't do that to her. But maybe we're really raising awareness.
Why else move to Kusnacht?
Switzerland. I don't know. Switzerland. I went to Zurich. Switzerland's very nice. There's no homeless. There's no everything's very clean. Kusnacht sounds like a Nazi zombie map from.
That's Nachter on Toten.
Yeah, there we go. Zombie verrückt. All right. Anyway, what I thought was interesting was that this woman was like, she got diagnosed with some disease, and the fact that she decided to even kill herself, they can't like just allow that to be. Like there needs to be a publicized movement, because now there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh, my euthanasia. Like you don't. It takes away all the humanity of what you're actually doing. Like you're just letting your mom kill herself, which is fine. I mean, whatever. Everyone should be able to do that. Doug Stanhope, the comedian, had one of the best stories about his mom's euthanasia. He called it a suicide party, which is what it is. I mean, if we're being honest, it's what it is. It's even if you didn't have an Instagram post or a journey or whatever, everyone's going to be in the room and they're like, all right, Mom, yeah, we brought you fucking Krispy Kreme donuts because they were your favorite, and a bottle of whiskey, and we're all gonna sit around and we're gonna watch. I don't know, Johnny Carson. I don't know how old your mom is. Johnny Carson's dead as a motherfucker. But anyway, we're all going to sit around and watch Friends until they decide to unplug you. And that's probably how it goes, I mean, for the most part. But the way he did it was he just kept giving his mom, like, morphine pills. And they were just in the house drinking and smoking cigarettes all day and just had a party. And that's nice. That's good. I don't know if sharing it with a bunch of people does anybody any good, any justice. I mean, what are the parts in that journey? Mom picked out her last outfit she's gonna wear today. Mom decided on her favorite food. We went out to Mom's favorite cafe for the last time today. She loves the pesto chicken panini, and she always gets the hibiscus tea on ice. And we did that today. We closed out all of Mom's accounts today. We we cleaned out Mom's garage. All of it's there. We got her will in order. Everything. Like, what's on the journey? There's not much of it. At least with like pictures or with weight loss journey, you could take pictures of your body, I guess, progress pics. You could take pictures of the food you're making and eating, right? People do that. But I can't imagine any kind of journey involving you accompanying your mother to her death. I don't know if that ever really needs to get publicized at all. I'm not sure.
It's almost like being a death row inmate.
You're right, exactly. Death row inmate, and CBS is there to do a special on death row inmates in your city. Like, it's kind of the same thing. So I don't know. I think that's funny. Euthanasia journey, and I mean, I haven't seen one with a dog or an animal or anything. You'd think that would be the first step before they start trying to make that a thing. I've seen none with animals. I think ever since I was a kid, my family used to say that we treated animals so much better here in this country. Because my parents, both of them are immigrants. So, like, they're amazed with how well we treat our animals. Have you seen on social media, there's these really, like, healthy meals to make? There's, like, chefs that are dedicating their time.
For dogs, right?
For dogs. And it's, like, chicken liver petrified in olive oil or some shit. And then they dump that in a bowl, and it's, like, a bunch of herbs and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, they eat better than most people.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and even some of the food that you get in the store, it's, I don't know. I wouldn't eat it, of course, but there's people who would. And they don't live that far from me or you, so understand that. I don't know. I think it's just funny that there's been, before I saw a dog euthanized, a euthanization journey on social media, I saw somebody's mom.
Well, it's also no one wants to watch that.
Yeah, right. Because dogs, we understand that people suck. So it's like, we can almost get behind this lady.
It's like a train wreck. You can't turn away from it.
Yeah, it's like a victimless thing going on. Like, people don't want to watch a dog. That's the worst part of the movie. You watch I Am Legend, it's fine. Will Smith is doing all type of crazy shit, fucking people up. But once he has to kill his dog, everyone's like, oh, no, not the dog. What about the fact that the whole
civilization is dead?
It's like destroyed. Everybody's destroyed. Same thing with John Wick. I didn't even watch John Wick, but I know he kills
I almost
his dog.
shut it off it was the first, 7 minutes that the dog dies.
Really? So that's early on.
Yeah.
You don't even get to build a rapport.
It was highly, recommended by my friend. I put it on. First 7 minutes, up. Not even, a dog. It's a full-blown tiny puppy. 3 weeks old puppy.
Wow. So they just leaned right into it. They didn't give a fuck. I wonder if that's because the whole movie is him killing people, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that was part of the motivation?
Oh, no, it's 100%. It's mostly the motivation. In the first 7 minutes, they steal his Mustang and kill his dog.
Oh, God. And he just goes after them. Those movies are so, why is anyone striking? Because those movies are so cookie cutter, it's so easy. Taken, it's kind of the same thing.
I have a special set of skills.
Yeah, you took my daughter, and I'm going to fucking kill everybody until I'm 108 years old. And they're all the same, like, all the same actors do it. Like, what's the dude's name? Die Hard.
Oh, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. You see, he's mentally, like, declined.
He's on death's porch.
Yeah. Maybe he'll have a euthanasia journey.
Maybe. If he moves to Sweden or Switzerland or whatever.
Yeah, right. Well,
Then,
you could do it in, I think, Oregon. It's legal. Portland, Oregon.
Really? I didn't know it was legal anywhere in America.
I think there's, like, pockets of places you can do it in America. Portland, Oregon, also famously known for all drugs being, I think, legal. Spread that disinformation as well. It's either legal or decriminalized, but you could pretty much do drugs and kill yourself in Portland, Oregon, with very little repercussions. Maybe that's where all the journeys lead to. It's like Mecca for people trying to kill themselves. Nonetheless, I love that. I love that we're able to take I guess a horrible thing. I don't know if that's horrible. I don't know if it's horrible to be able to elect that at the end of your life you want to, like, end it a little more prematurely. I don't know if that's bad. I feel like that's a basic human right. Because if you lived out in the woods and you got bit by some reptile that turns your blood into stone or something, you wouldn't have to consultate anybody. You just kill yourself right there.
What was that movie, Into the Wild, where he kind of lets himself starve to death, or was that like accidental?
That's a thing. I didn't. Was that a real movie?
It's a real movie. It was a book, and then it was a movie. But I think he was just like going on his own little journey, and then just happened to starve to death.
I guess you deserve it in that sense.
But like he had just graduated Harvard or something, and then goes into the woods, burns all of his cash, all of his own possessions, and then just ditches his family and hits the road and changes his name and everything. And he's like,
it worked out well.
Yeah, he makes it from like the East Coast over to like Alaska, and he just dies in the woods.
Good. That's a good those days of doing that. I mean, I feel like that's a meme. There's that joke of rich college kids going out in the woods. They're like, I'm gonna restart it all, man. I was given everything in my life. Time to get rid of it. Like,
I mean, that was a very vague summarization of the story, but
right. But I've heard that story, not that movie, but I've heard that story of like yuppie kids going out. They go to like a national park for a week or something, and they think that they're going to restructure their lives, and I don't know. It's such like an egotistical, not an egotistical, like an ironic way of thinking. When you were given and gifted everything in the richest country in the world, and you're like, I'm gonna give all this up because there's not somebody else who would like to enjoy this. I'm gonna revert to where my ancestors. That's like you almost can't do that unless you're wealthy enough to do that. You can't just kind of disappear. Or poor enough, I suppose. It's like either spectrum. If you're poor as shit or rich as shit, you can just do whatever you want all the time.
I feel like you can almost, whoever they want could do it. Because what he did, like he was just living as like a migrant. Like he'd work for a farmer, and then he'd like hitchhike to this place, and then he was just like, I don't know, experiencing.
Right. Life on the road.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I just feel like a middle class person would be more willing to divert back to normal life. They'd want, I don't know, a backup. But I guess I'm just assuming. I don't know, because if you're poor as shit, then you're like, there's nothing for me in real life, so fuck that. Then if you're rich as shit, then it's like, well, I still have a bunch of money when I go back if I want to go back, unless you do what that guy did and burned everything, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird train of thought.
You gotta take one of the extremes.
Yeah, it's a weird train of thought. Now, speaking of people dying, there's a woman. There's a place in Missouri. If you could go to that first article, there's a small town in Missouri where a lot of people are going to see. It's called, I think, Gower, Missouri, and there's this old woman. Well, dead woman, I should say, not old. She's a nun. I always think of a nun as an old woman, alive, dead. Really doesn't matter to me. It's an old woman, and her corpse isn't decaying. She was buried without embalming, which is interesting because they had to was she buried? Because now they have her on like a bed, and people are going to see her. We'll see that in a second, but because in my mind it was someone like trying to rob her grave, and they're like, wait a second, this bitch might still be alive. She might just be.
It says exhumed. It doesn't say why.
After she exhumed.
She was exhumed.
Oh, okay. They think so. Everyone thinks it's a holy sign. Everybody's gonna go, and they're actually giving people some of the dirt from her grave. Now, if Jesus wasn't involved in this, if the thought of like God or a church or anything or holiness wasn't involved in this, then and you heard that a bunch of people all over the country were traveling to some small place to go see a dead lady and then scoop up some of her dirt that she was laying in for 4 years. I think she was buried in 2019. For 4 years, dead person's dirt. You'd hear that story and you'd be like, my God, these people are terrible. This is ancient times all over again. We haven't evolved at all. This is awful. What are we doing? But because there's a massive backing behind this, people are like, a massive religious backing. People are like, well, we got to get down there. These are the people who vote, guys. I mean, there's two old. This picture right here. There's two old ladies kneeling, in sneakers, scooping up dirt. I don't know how much more deranged it gets. I mean, what are you gonna go do after that? Pick out a hair and fucking tie it around your necklace? I mean, please. What's the sign say? Please take no more than a
teaspoon
of dirt. Well, I mean, they're going to go home and rub it all over themselves. They're going to rub their pussies with that. I mean, it's going to be, they need a little bit more. You can't just expect that.
By the looks of them, they look dry enough.
Right. Oh, God.
Got that dot.
She's
dirty ass.
Yeah, she's going to ask her husband to rub some dead lady's dirt on her. A nun whose body has barely decayed since her death has unintentionally attracted hundreds to the site of burial in a small U.S. town. People from all over the U.S. travel to Gower, Missouri to witness the body of Sister Wilhelmina Lancaster, unexpectedly found intact after being exhumed, nobody knows why, in April by nuns of the Benedictines of Mary, Queen of Apostles Order. I mean, are we more... Is there a place that's more addicted to spectacle than we are? Look at the line. Scroll down just a little bit more. Look at the line of people going to see a dead lady. And, like, none of these...
2,000 people.
2,000 people flock to this small... They haven't seen 2,000 people since the last, race riots or something. Where is this? Missouri? I don't know if they're super into the race stuff. Maybe they are. But nonetheless, there's a bunch of people going over... and none of them look to be, like, when I think of a biblical demonstration, I think of people, like, regal. They're dressed in robes or they're dressed in their Sunday best. Even people when they go to church. When I was growing up, you didn't wear jeans to church and wear shorts to church. You had to dress nice. You had to do it. And these people are seeing, apparently, according to them, a complete miracle that their God is putting on, and they're wearing cargo shorts and sunglasses. I don't know.
Honestly, I think sitting here, I'm a believer. I want to go see her.
Yeah, right. But what do you think's doing it? Like,
it's unexplainable. It's got to be.
It's got to be
a miracle,
God.
right?
It's got to be God. It has to be. A visitor from Kansas City, Missouri, Samuel Dawson, visited the site and described it as very peaceful and very reverent. Yeah, it's like a wake. You never hear a wake as described as anything other than that, I guess. I mean, as peaceful as looking at a dead person and standing in line like an amusement park ride, like you're at Disneyland to go see a dead lady. Mr. Dawson, who is Catholic, said the nuns let visitors. Oh, this is nice. Let the visitors touch Sister Lancaster because they wanted to make her accessible to the public because in real life she was always accessible to people. The phenomenon has been described as a Catholic sign of holiness by some through scientific explanations of the lack of decay have been offered too. Though scientific explanations, whatever. So there might be some other explanations. It could be, but why would it be a sign of holiness to keep somebody here? Like, wouldn't it be better if the body did decay and just, I guess, gave back to the earth in that way, in a holistic way? Maybe not so much in such a. I mean, are they charging people for this? I feel like they got to be charging people.
Knowing the Catholic Church, they are.
Totally. I mean, they don't pay taxes already, and now they're getting. I mean, look at these people. Look at this picture. People are touching this lady. That's insane. She's been buried for 4 years, and I get it. She looks like she's just asleep, but she's dead as a motherfucker. And these people are. I mean, this lady's got beads on, rubbing her knees. That's insane. Why would God be like, let's keep her here just a little longer?
This guy goes right for the foot.
Yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino right there with the foot fetish. The Diocese of Kansas City, St. Joseph said, the condition of the remains of Sister Wilhelmina Lancaster has understandably generated widespread interests and raised important questions. At the same time, it is important to protect the integrity of the moral remains to allow for a thorough investigation. So now she's got to be investigated for what? Like the cartel is keeping her. She's got kilos in her. Look at the kids. They got kids. Imagine your mom is just like, all right, well, we traveled 3,000 miles for this. We came all the way from Louisiana. Get over there, get on your knees, and praise God. Put your hands on that dead woman. Go. What a morbid fucking... I mean, everything is morbid. This whole thing is insane. I mean, we started off with a euthanasia journey, and now this is like the whole culture is just getting ready for death. Just get a little more comfortable with death. The case for sainthood due to the body's incorruptibility, a belief of staving off decomposition as a sign of holiness, had not been initiated yet. Added that. What do you mean? So the case for sainthood. So they're gonna try to make her a saint, just because okay. This was confirmed by the Benedictines, who said Sister Lancaster had not yet reached the required minimum of of 5 years since death for the sainthood process to begin.
Oh, you have to die to become a saint?
I guess so. Yeah, you have to be dead of 5 years to become. So there's. I like
almost
that.
Like the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
right.
You have to be voted in.
I guess you do, but who votes? I mean, God's not up there keeping tallies. The nuns just sit around and they're like, let's make her a saint. So when she gets up there, the Lord will know.
And then if they're not voting for her, they're just like down there talking shit about her.
Yeah. They're like, no, she didn't do enough. Look at her body. It's not even decayed. That's insane. Meanwhile, Rebecca George, an anthropology tutor at the Western Carolina University, said the body's lack of decomposition might not be that rare. She said that coffins and clothing help to preserve bodies. She added, typically, when we bury people, we don't exhume them. We don't get to look at them a couple years out. With 100 years, there might be nothing left, but when you've got just a few years out, this is not expected. The monastery is to place the corpse in a glass shrine in the church where visitors will still be able to see it and collect dirt from her grave, but not touch her for the price of everything you have in your wallet. So I've seen, I guess, a similar story to this. There was a monk that was supposedly reached the state of nirvana. It's almost like these religious types. There's like a pattern of mumbo jumbo somewhere down the line, but they did show this guy, and he was like sitting in like a lotus position, and he hadn't decomposed for, I feel like, much longer than this woman. Which means, I guess, their God cares more.
Apparently.
Yeah, like this lady, it's only been a few years for her. I forget this guy's name, but people would go up and see him. I guess it's like a thing.
I also just don't know how fastly people decay.
Right.
So, like, at first I was like, is that special or?
According to
I mean,
this,
she looked very not dead.
right. I mean, her legs looked feeble. She looked as good as a dead nun can look 4 years after.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she looked like she was just died.
Right. Which
She actually looks better than some people who I've seen who just died.
Right. She looks better than some people who might be walking around still. Actually, some of the nuns in that same monastery. So I don't know. I guess there is something there. There may be a scientific explanation. According to this woman, it's not that different. I mean, it is just a few years. It's only been 4 years underground. It's not like that'll do too much to you when you're already checked out. I don't know. She's saying the clothes helped.
But it's also like, what if maybe she decays super rapidly, like tomorrow,
Right. And now she's in a glass case.
and just
And
disgusting.
Yeah, everyone's like, I remember when you could see her hand, and now that's just dust, and there's just a pile of dust that's collecting in there. And now people can get the dust, too, which is better. You can charge more because it was only the dirt before, but if you get dead nun dust and you rub it on your temples and shit before you put your headdress on.
Make her an NFT. Everyone can have her.
Even better. That's the final form. Hopefully they got enough pictures of her, a cool picture that they can offset the coloring and
8-bit it.
Yeah, and sell that. And I mean that is a great thing. I don't know. It's just like anything else. It's just a spectacle. People are willing to travel all over to go Gower. Was it Gower, Missouri? Who even knows what that is? Missouri is one of those places that I think about because of I feel like their accents are cool, but nothing else. I mean, I would never go. Yeah, Gower. Fucking creeps. And people were mad at the Manson family. This isn't that much better, guys. I don't know. I mean, I guess single-handedly ruining the 60s and the Summer of Love and the whole movement and everything is probably pretty bad. But this isn't normal. Normal's, of course, relative, but this is strange. So we're looking up Gower, Missouri. Let's see how many people live here. We had 2,000 spectators for this, at least in that one particular picture. Let's see. Whoa.
That was in 2010, but
jeez.
let me get that on screen.
1,005. There were more people there for this event than people who live there. That says a lot about the place. I mean, Gower is currently 0.6 small, so it's even smaller. Wait, but what does that mean? Smaller than it was in 2020, and it has grown 8.7. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but
Since 2000, it grew, and then it's smaller
Than
now
2020.
than it was in 2020.
Wow. White collar workers. Wow. So it's more people who are on like computers, right? That's white collar. Yeah, it's like CPAs and shit. Interesting. They were probably happy for that. That sounds like when Woodstock happened and people just started pulling up to that small little town in upstate. Except there was way more people and for a much better reason. This is interesting to say the least. Well, in other news, dogs get diplomas. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Student service dog. Imagine you're a single mom in New Jersey. Okay, this is where the dog got the diploma. You're a single mom in New Jersey. You've been.
Should we play it?
Sure, let's play it. Let's do that first. Salmonella outbreak linked to cookie dough. No wonder. So's obesity, you fucking idiot. What's this lady's name? I always forget her name. It's something stupid.
Is that Sade Better-Noir?
What is it?
Sade Better... No, it's not her.
Oh, she's got a weird name. Some with an H. It's the Today Show, people. It might not even work.
Wi-Fi is at a premium?
Yeah, I pay for it. That's why it's a fucking premium. Well, while maybe that'll play at some point. The there's New Jersey Seton Hall University. Okay, they gave a dog they gave a dog a diploma because it was a service dog. It attended all the classes with the person that who I mean probably isn't faking it. A lot of the times, service dogs are for people just to have a dog around them. This woman, she is probably an inspiration to a lot of people. But her dog, I mean, imagine being a single mother who goes to Seton Hall. You work super hard. You work 2 jobs. You try to go to school full time. You take care of the kids. You get babysitters. Thank God you got a mom that cares about you and love you. She tries to help you out when she can. And you're finally made it to graduation day. 4 years. Or you didn't think you were going to graduate on time. It was going to take. It took a lot out of you. You were super mom for all those 4 years because that asshole left you in the middle of it. And he left you with the kids, and you've been working super hard, and you're finally there, and what's left of your family that still loves you is up in the balcony over at wherever you graduate in New Jersey, probably some big stadium somewhere, and they're like, "There's my daughter. She's gonna graduate with her degree in communications, and she's gonna be the manager of a fucking call center someplace," and everyone's ready for her to make the thing, and she goes up there, but before she goes up there, in line is a dog. In line is a dog that's going to get a distinction from the same school that she spent all her time and money on and man hours and all this shit. And like I said, the girl whose dog it belongs to, fantastic, right? She's, I don't know exactly what she's getting, a PhD?
Play a hating degree.
That's right, yeah, play a hating. People who can walk. That's who she hates. It's it's some lady in a wheelchair, and she's got a dog who right now looks kind of sad, who doesn't really want to be there. Probably didn't want to be there the whole time, if we're being honest. I mean, let's just be real. If you were a dog and you were at a park and your owner is sitting and reading all the time,
and some guy handing you a paper.
Right, and he's like, "What am I supposed to fucking do with this? I don't want to be a claims adjuster at Amica. Like, I don't care." And then this guy, yeah, there we go, the dog. Yeah, this dog doesn't care. He's just
could have given him anything.
Yeah, right. And his name's Justin. That's what's funny. Who names a fucking dog Justin? What a bullshit. Like, Justin. Let's name the dog Justin. That's not a dog name. All the Justins are cool. Right, Justin Timberlake, the white man savior. But no, I mean, it's like performative and it's strange. But what I was gonna say was, all right, you're a service dog. You're like a high class of dogs. You're not exactly a police dog, and you're not a one of those dogs that they do the dog shows for. Those are like the highest level of dog. You're not a racing dog, right? You're just like you're like a middle act. You're like a middle school teacher of dogs. As a service dog. But you're one of the few dogs that has a job, which sucks. You don't want to have a job.
You're a blue-collar dog.
Yeah, you were born into a species that doesn't have to worry about money, doesn't have to worry about work, doesn't have to worry about anything, really, as long as you're domestic. And now you're required to have a job. It's a bad roll of the dice. It kind of sucks. If we're being honest. And if that dog is sitting there, if Justin is sitting there, which isn't his real dog name, we got to give him a better dog name. You can't walk around with a dog named Justin. I don't care how much he helps you. But you're at a park and your person is blind, right? And they're reading a Braille book or something or eating ice cream. And you see the other dog and their owner is running around and throwing a Frisbee at him. And they're running and they're fucking drinking, he's giving them water, and they're jumping around and having a great time. You're going to start to resent your owner a little bit. You're going to one day, your owner needs you. So to think that dog wants to be in the room while you're getting your PhD in, what is it, education? She's going to be a teacher. Is the dog going to be there teaching too? Is the dog going to get a 403B? That's what teachers get instead of a 401k. A little finance knowledge I'll drop on you guys. Will the dog get that? Will the dog get its own parking spot? Maybe the dog gets I feel like if that does happen, then the dog will definitely overshadow her owner, Grace Mariani. They'll start inviting the dog to nights out when the teachers all go out and get hammered. They're gonna invite the dog, and Grace is gonna be left home because Grace is in a wheelchair, and everyone's like, "Come on, Grace, it's strange. We're going out to a club, and it's hard to bring you out on the dance. You're in a fucking wheelchair." And then she's like, "But you're bringing Justin. That's my dog." And they're like, "Yeah, but Justin's, he's fine. Justin's cool." And all the guys are going to be like, "Bro, Justin's a pussy magnet. The girls come up, and, everyone's going to love Justin, and Grace is going to be like a background character in the school." And I don't know. It's just weird and performative. Elementary and special education, and Justin Romaine. Okay, so yeah, I answered my question. So imagine trying to teach elementary special education. All right, you're teaching a bunch of kids who all got mental deficiencies or whatever the correct fucking word is for that. And now you got a dog in the room. What kid's gonna pay attention? I don't know if any. Do they get to bring their dogs? Can everyone just have dogs and kids in this? I mean, they're kind of the same thing, dogs and kids. I remember when I was working at this cigar bar over in this small, shitty, dilapidated town in Rhode Island called Pawtucket. And people would go in there to just get hammered. Like, we were encouraged to not pay attention to any of the legal alcohol laws. Like, there's laws. Like, you got to cut people off, and you can't have so many drinks in front of you. You can't pour so much in every cocktail. They didn't give a fuck. You were getting 3 ounces of booze, which is an ounce over what most places do, sometimes an ounce and a half. And you were getting a big pint glass full of booze, and people would just get absolutely hammered, and people with their kids and everything. And they would say fucked up shit. And I remember this woman looking at her daughter and saying kids are basically dogs. Because someone had mentioned something about taking care of a dog or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's like having a kid, It's like having your own kid. And the girl looks at her daughter, drunk as shit, off like 6 sugary martinis that I made for her, looks at her and goes, kids are basically dogs.
In elementary school, though, I don't think I would get anything done in class if there was a dog next to me.
Right. That's my point. And you're in special ed. I mean...
Yeah, they're not getting anything done.
No. There's nothing getting done in that class anyway, unless there's dogs involved. And I mean, you treat them the same. You when a dog acts up, you slap it on the nose. You do the same thing to a kid.
You gotta walk it. You gotta feed it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't know. We wish this lady luck. Good job, Grace. You're a doctor of education, I guess. No, bachelor's of science. So it's not even that big of a deal.
She may not even get the job.
Anyone, exactly. Right. I mean, bachelor's is,
she's got to go to grad school.
Right.
Seton
that's
Hall,
true.
very good,
right?
though.
Seton Hall is good?
Yeah, it's a good school. It's a great
They're
school.
good at basketball, right?
Yeah, they're in the Big East. It's a good school. But I feel like a bachelor's competitive market. It's not cutting it no more.
Right. Very true. I feel like this is a black eye on their good school giving a dog a degree, I think. I don't know.
I'm sure he's a good boy.
Sure. No, I'm sure he's great. You can get him. You can bring him in a restaurant with you. I hate that. I've always hated that when you go. I don't know. Did I mention this to you last time or one of the other times? Maybe. I hate when I go to a restaurant. There's a dog anywhere, outside, inside. It's the worst. I feel like that would shut a place down. I don't know. And then I heard it again on another podcast, and it like re-sparked my rage and thoughts about having a dog in a place that isn't your home or outside. I don't know. Or a vet. I feel like you shouldn't have a dog anywhere there's food being served.
I'm a dog lover, so I don't mind it. I don't really care.
Right. I get it. And I like dogs too, but and it's funny because I don't, I say I don't want a dog in a restaurant, but a restaurant's already a filthy fucking place anyway, right?
Most of them.
The chef is scratching his head while he's reaching for the fucking potatoes he's gonna fry. Like,
I feel like it's not that many restaurants that allow pets though, but every brewery I've ever been to allowed dogs.
Right.
And I'm totally cool with that too.
Yeah. beer and dogs. Can't go wrong. You need, and you got to bring them everywhere. Same thing with kids, right? You got to bring them around other of their kind. They run around, they get tired. You feed them something sweet. Yeah, dogs, kids, same thing. This lady knows. Grace, let's hope you get a good job teaching the kids with the dog, with your genius dog. What else we got? DC Man. This guy's fighting for something important. This guy is not playing around. DC Man fights to keep giant Transformer statues out of his home. Now, I like this because he is living in our nation's capital, where some of the biggest demonstrations have gone on to have great success as well. You know, March on Washington, and there's other ones as well, but that's the first one that comes to mind, mainly because of how famous it is and how patriotic and how admirable it is. But this guy is living in the birthplace of a nation, not the birthplace, but the capital of a nation that was born from revolution, born from fighting in something you believe in. And this guy commissioned some artists to create these massive Autobots, these big Transformers made out of car parts, I think it was, like junk car parts. And he got it built outside of his house, and everyone in the area is very upset. And he's fighting for that. And I'm just happy that we still have people that are fighting for things that they believe in. I think that that's great. I think that it's great that this guy was willing to spend his own money just to start problems with everyone in his neighborhood. So, Newton Howard is his name, a renowned brain scientist, commissioned an artist to create the massive statues of Autobots, Bumblebee, and Optimus Prime from old car parts in January 2021, and the installation of the two Transformer sculptures quickly received complaints from neighbors. I like that our geniuses and scientists, this is what they do. Like, I understand everyone needs some kind of leisure, everyone needs some kind of, small thing on the side that they can, I guess, fuck around with, and a little hobby or whatever, something small. But I don't know if it helps our idea of this dystopian society that's coming, that our scientists, the people that are supposed to know how to make things and create things and move our culture forward, are doing this. This is what they're fighting for. This is where the revolutionary comes in with the geniuses now. I mean, a renowned brain scientist. What part of the brain is this? Like, what part of the brain compels a person who's supposedly a genius? I mean, he went to Georgetown. People are complaining the neighborhood's aesthetic. I mean, DC's a dump anyway. It looks kind of nice in some parts, but people get shot and murdered. What about the guy bleeding outside of your house? That's not a great aesthetic. I don't know. They also have a lot of bugs. A lot of bugs. Bugs, I think, are worse than Transformers. As stupid as Transformers are,
From the cherry blossoms?
Yeah, right. That makes sense. The cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms are nice. Those are nice. But what makes it even better is when you have a big robot made out of garbage, in front of it or next to it.
Spruces it up a little bit.
Yeah, it makes things look nice. Those are massive. Holy shit.
I could see why it would be an issue.
An eyesore, right? Holy shit. I mean, how much money? Those are really realistic. Like, they really do look, my God. So, they complain, safety hazard. The statues were a subject of discussion at the district's monthly public safety committee meeting, which was held virtually on Thursday. Howard brought along actors Peter Cullen and Dan Gilvezan, I guess are their names, to speak in favor of the artwork. Cullen has voiced Optimus Prime in numerous animated and live-action Transformer projects, and Gillivan voiced Bumblebee in the original 84-86. So it's two people no one knows. This guy got two people who are involved in the TV show and have nothing to do with this. He chose them to come represent him in front of the committee. this sounds like this guy just wants to be infamous. He's a nerd. All he knows is about brain shit, and he wants to cause a ruckus in the city. He wants people to know what's going on with Howard, whatever the fuck his name is. I understand that people think that these statues don't fit the character of the neighborhood, but they stand out like a sore thumb. First, I resent being compared to a sore thumb. A healthy, well-functioning thumb.
What a nerd.
Maybe a sore thumb, never. Wow. That's fantastic. You know what? But then he goes on to say, you know what is a good character for the
Someone
neighborhood?
calls you a sore thumb, and you're like, no, I'm a healthy, well-functioning thumb, maybe.
Yeah, I can be used for just about anything. I'm a great thumb. I would never be on a monkey. I'm on a human. I'm a human thumb. That's a good one, too. Sore thumb. But anyway, he goes on to say that what is a nice thing for the character of the neighborhood are the insane people that walk around and scream. All the bugs, all the violence, all the politicians walking around spending our money. That is good. That doesn't stick out like a sore thumb because that's what this place kind of is, you know. As nice as it looks. The public... Where are we at? Oh, nice. The Public Safety Committee ruled in favor of the neighbors, saying the statues should be removed. But Howard said he will continue to fight to keep the Autobots in place. He said he is prepared to take the case to court. Wow. People need to start having more aneurysms. People need to start having more brain injuries to get this guy off their case over here. He's just causing a problem. You don't think the Public Safety Committee has more shit?
I don't know why
to worry
my
about?
Siri just started recording you, and she was like, I found this on the web for, he said he's prepared to take the case to court. Wow, people need to start having more aneurysms.
Siri knows. And what did she say? Anything good?
She brought me to a bunch of, like, .gov websites relating to brain aneurysms.
Yeah, and Howard's not on any of them. Howard's spending his time in a dark room with yellow papers staring at him under a light, looking on how to figure out how to keep his Autobots in front of his apartment. I love that. I love that you can just kind of... There is something admirable about it because he's going after the system. He's going after the man. That's nice, just like having the VPN and using Brave, just like how we started this episode.
It's very brave of me.
That's right. You're not allowing the Public Safety Committee to rule in favor of the neighbors. You're taking your independent freedoms in your own hand, and if your independent freedoms include commissioning an artist to make robots 15 feet tall in front of your door, where not only you live but a lot of other people live. And I don't know. I mean, that can't be. You can't just build something somewhere. You can't just build a building. It's not the same. It's kind of the same. They're huge, those things. If you put them next to each other, that's like a one-person skyscraper. Like you can,
especially some neighborhoods are like, say, like historic or whatever, and you can't make any changes to the outside, but you can do things to the inside.
Yeah.
I'd imagine in somewhere as old as DC, a lot of that's the case in a lot of the places.
Sure. And now they're tearing down.
You just say fuck it and put up Autobots.
I know. And maybe if you put just put a plaque under there that lists their accolades that helped the right groups. Like they're tearing down Robert E. Lee. All right, I understand he was the Civil War on the wrong side. I understand you tear that down. People want to tear down George Washington. That one, I mean, I don't know. He was bad too, but you kind of need to keep that one, I think. So,
like, imagine it went the other direction and, like, the other side of the street started putting up the Decepticons.
Then it's like a statue battle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just double down on it, the whole neighborhood.
Right. Everyone gets their own massive robots in front of the place. I don't know. I think it's interesting, especially with the statues all being part of contention. They're all in those cities. People, very self-righteous people, want to go out and get rid of those statues. But nonetheless, let's hope Howard gets to keep his shit and the Public Safety Committee keeps their nose out of his goddamn business. Go worry about something else. This is barely a public safety issue. These are the good guys. They're the good guys. You got Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. You don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah, it's not Megatron.
Yeah, exactly. If he built Megatron, it'd be a problem. And then, you'd have to get real police involved. Now, the last episode, we spoke a little bit about Maryland. They're having a good time. We spoke about the kid who's using his constitutional right to stand in front of the bus with the kids and the gun, and he's showing them that it's all good. Now that is good fun, and so is this. High school pranks. I feel like not high school pranks, senior pranks. I feel like that's like such an 80s movie thing. Like we didn't do a senior prank. Did you guys do a senior prank?
My year's senior prank was just walking out of the building at the same time.
Oh, nice.
And we went all together and had a barbecue in the parking lot. And then the principal came and told us all to get out of the parking lot, so we just went to the McDonald's parking lot.
Kept the barbecue going. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's nice. Again,
come third period, we all just walked out.
That's great. Was it mostly everyone?
It was, yeah, I think it was pretty much the entire senior class. It was like probably the only thing we did as a class ever.
Wow, that's a hell of a coordination. That's nice. That's a demonstration there. You guys are like, we're done. Fuck this. Yeah, I don't know. We never had one, but this one's pretty funny. Students prank school by listing it on Zillow as a nice half-working jail, which is good. That's, most of them operate that way, right? A bell goes, all right, time for the next thing to do. And then you get 30 minutes for lunch. People fight in the lunchroom. You got to ask to go to the bathroom. It's, And they're selling it for cheap. They're selling a whole school for $42,000.
That's how you get the most eyes on it.
That's right. That's how you get people to see it. So this is the students at Meade High School listed their school on the real estate website for a measly $42,000. The listing, which was eventually removed, advertised a completely trash-scented air freshener and water issues. Students also referred to the school as a half-working jail and said all 15 bathrooms come with sewage issues as well as dangerous unfinished sections. Like, if you brought this to the Department of Public Works in your town, they'd condemn the building. This sounds terrible. The listing also promised that your neighbors are rodents and insects that will make you squeal. Nice. After the listing, although the listing was a little insulting, Anne Arundel, County Public Schools spokesperson Bob Moiser, admits he found it funny. This is incredibly creative advertising, but we are stunned that the listers so vastly underestimate the value of this prime real estate with amazing amenities, he said in a statement to media outlets. Potential buyers surely will be flocking to snap this deal up, right? This won't be on the market for long. I love his response. Like, these kids are saying, like, probably genuine problems that are going on with the school. And he's like, well, it's just fun. They're just having fun. Let's play into it. Yeah. What do you mean, trash?
Sewage issues.
Turns out, we're running a school here. Turns out seniors in the same school district previously attempted to sell another educational institution as a prank. So they just fuck around with this. In spring 2020, at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, students at Broadneck, they hung a sign for sale. Very fun. Like the Meade High School prank was simply funny, Mosier told Patch. No one was hurt, no property was damaged, and everyone got a great laugh. And we're ready to start indoctrinating a new crew of children. Let's bring in a new crew. It's funny because a lot of schools, I'm sure, our public schools definitely are in a condition that should probably be mentioned in some way. Like, this is like one of those cries for help that everyone's just like sweeping under the rug. They're like, what do you mean Jimmy killed himself? Yeah, he's been talking about it for months. You never bothered to confront him about it. You never bothered to talk to him about his drinking or taking pills or anything. He made a whole advertisement about it. He went on Facebook. He made a status. No one paid attention to it. No one said anything, and now he's dead and he's gone. And that's kind of how it is with this. I mean, these schools are all fucked up. And who knows better than the kids who are in the schools having to be inundated all day with the useless information that they're given. I mean, is there a more useless period than high school? High school's like, oh, God. I remember while being in high school thinking that that's it. Whatever happens in high school, you're fucked. There's nothing outside of it. And it's funny because the The one I went to wasn't as bad as this. This sounds bad. I can see why they call it a prison. And maybe the kids are fucking around.
Or they could be from like very rich neighborhoods, and then just like a slight inconvenience seems really bad to them.
Ah, good point. That is a good point. Annapolis. I don't know what Annapolis is like.
I know it's like a military town.
Ah, right.
It's like the
So
Navy's there.
So they're just nitpicking. Like, the military's very straight now. You'd got to be able to bounce a quarter off your bed.
Maybe.
So these kids are like, there was dirt.
Yeah, maybe they don't have dads. Maybe they're all their dads are like away at sea.
Yeah, and they want to fight about something too. They want to take up arms with something.
So they take to the keyboard.
That's right. We're selling this fucking school, Zillow, and the Moisier, the spokesperson for the school committee, is like, well, it's just kids having fun. They don't know what they're talking about. Nobody's gonna go in and look. Nobody's gonna do anything.
It's also Zillow doesn't vet what you post on it.
I guess not. They're like, sure, put whatever you want, sell anything.
Is that a crime? Like, can we post this building and it's not for sale?
Ooh, right. And you get people to call. Tim Dillon had a really funny thing he used to do. He would do fake business.
He's on the other end of it, though.
Yeah, right.
He's trying
right,
he's
right.
pretending to buy.
Right. We do the opposite and try to sell.
We got to look into it because that sounds fun.
That does sound fun. That could be a thing. That could
A
be a
weekly
thing going
skit.
forward. Yeah. Well, guys, a lot of fun stuff covered today. Thank you so much for listening. I think we're going to peace out of this bitch. Hopefully next time our cameras are good to go. Thanks for bearing with us. Banging out these 3 episodes for you. Let me think. Dates. I got a show in Brooklyn. Follow the Instagram. Just follow the Instagram. I don't give a fuck. That's it, guys. New episode next Thursday. Peace.